Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. President Biden is vowing to do whatever he can to protect voting rights. The president denounced the Republican-led efforts to enact restrictive state election laws as being un-American and an assault on democracy. Crawford County Health Department and Ascension Via Christi Hospital officials held a press conference at Pitt State. Officials say the county is seeing its fourth major spike in COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began. The vast majority of those new cases, along with every recent death, are people who have not been vaccinated. Health officials reiterated that the vaccines are safe and recommended. Just under 50% of the county's population has received at least one dose of a vaccine. Area school officials consider how they'll respond to CDC guidance for students returning to school this fall. Last week's guidance from the CDC falls in line with their previous advice on masking for vaccinated adults. It says that fully vaccinated students and teachers do not need to wear masks in classrooms. The Jasper County Health Department says how COVID cases and vaccinations look closer to the school year will dictate how schools operate. The health department says the best way to reduce the spread is by getting vaccinated. A number of Joplin area businesses say they're committed to creating a more diverse, welcoming, and inclusive community. The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce and its Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Work Group formally announced the launch of their Joplin Leadership Pledge. Dozens of companies and groups have already signed the pledge. The EDI group says the goal is to ensure that companies and individuals create cultures that are welcoming and supportive of everyone. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
It's already pretty warm. We're talking about temperatures in the mid-70s, and we still got a ways to go before we even get to sunrise. So this will end up being our hottest day of the week, all the way up into the low 90s. Feeling about like mid to high 90s when you factor in, number one, the south wind that's going to be blowing pretty good all the way through the nighttime hours. And still very warm overnight. Now, next big development rain-wise, that's going to be Thursday afternoon, as we've got a stalled out front that's going to collide with the Gulf moisture that's going to make it so humid for today and bring us rain that'll last all the way in to Friday morning. We'll be back right after this.